Stability and Planning, speech by Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel addressing chief ministers of the states. We have now come to realize that it is easy to plan but difficult to plan within our resources. We have to cut our coat according to our cloth. When we came to office, I thought the first requirement in the country was external and internal security. You cannot have any plan unless there is security. I started planning for the integration of whatever remained of the country and also tried to secure peace because I found that the world had changed. We have talked of the world peace, but there is no country in the world which is not in a disturbed state and disturbed condition. Even the countries which had freedom for centuries and which had never been slaves are in a disturbed condition. In this country, which won freedom only yesterday and which has a past legacy of so many disturbing elements, it's impossible to make progress until we first resolve order, restore order, resolve to work together. On top of it, it came partition, which made our task very difficult. We are just settling down when came the devaluation. Things are not entirely in our hands, even today, to plan for the progress of the country because we depend upon so many outside factors which govern us. The planners have to take into account many extraneous circumstances. My own view, which I have not concealed and which I have expressed often to the displeasure of many, is that if we had not played false to ourselves and to our country, large imports of food would have been unnecessary. We have plenty of food in this country. 5 to 10% of deficit in a huge country like this is not difficult to make up by increased production, by prevention of waste, by putting in maximum efforts to economize, and also by applying our hearts unitedly in the matter of giving up foodstuffs where they are surplus. There are many provinces which are surplus and others are deficit. Whenever a province tries to procure the surplus food from the people, we do not speak with one voice. Some of us put our province first and the rest country afterwards. We know that our neighbors are, in spite of their best efforts, not getting enough to eat, and yet we feel that if we feed our province, the rest does not matter. We have not felt a nation as a nation which has to work together, and the governing organizations do not speak with one voice. Planning cannot mend its difficulty. Yes, the difficulties are many, and the planning has to go on. The chief ministers alone and the presidents of Congress organizations can, to a certain extent, mend this matter. Considerable planning is required to make the presidents and chief ministers meet. They are proceeding to contrary directions. In the Congress organization itself, whenever the government wants to push any scheme, another group desires to demolish it. Planning, however good, will not work until we realize our responsibility and until we feel that it is our obligation to help in the implementation of the scheme which has been planned. It is not the Congress organization alone, but there are other groups whose business is to destroy everything we do. Their main function is to find fault with everything that we do, however good it may be. There are some groups which are bent on creating disruption and dislocation and go to any length for creating chaos, committing murders and dacoities, removing rails and tampering with communication. These are matters of great concern. On that account, considerable amount of strain has been placed on the government. In spite of all that, we have to a large extent, restore, and we have done this, restoring order. This has been appreciated by the people who come from outside. This is practically the only stable country in the whole of Asia, and it is one place where we can stem the tide of aggression and disorder. Many have expressed admiration for the work that has been done, but the work would not last until we have enough food in the country to feed our people. Machinery will not solve the problem because millions of idle hands and who have no work cannot be employed on machines. India's planning must necessarily differ from the planning of highly developed and industrialized countries. India is primarily an agricultural country, and in a country which is thickly populated as India is, idleness is the greatest disease. Gandhiji's planning was therefore of a different kind, and it was difficult. But it is difficult to plan a non-industrial basis also. We must industrialize our country quickly and efficiently in certain directions. Otherwise, we are doomed in the modern world, because a modern army requires many things which not only machines can produce, apart from the arms and ammunition, uniforms, stores, jeeps, motor cars, aeroplanes and petrol. If industry is not developed in the country, we have to depend on external sources. If the world succeeds in bringing about conditions in which no country requires an army, then the scheme of self-sufficiency in villages would be ideal thing to work for. But that is not so. We have to plan both for industry, which is immediately necessary, and for agriculture, which is of primary importance. Today, the most controversial question in the country, which has brought the government into trouble and made it unpopular, is controls. This government has not the machinery for effective controls in any sphere. It has got barely enough staff to run the administration. We run the administration of the whole country with 1/4 of the service which was in existence when we took over. 50% of the people whose presence was enough to keep law and order and make lower subordinates work with efficiency and even overtime have gone. We have opened so many embassies in other countries where we have to send at least one civil servant. The functions of the government have been so widened that we have many new departments. We have no statistics and have to begin from the scratch.